So that's just one example, but
Questo è solo un esempio.
this Transomatic Starlight Colour, I use colour on the points of the star,
Sulle punte delle stelle,
like the dark star, this black star,
questa stella nera,
this is what I call the dark star.
è quella che chiamano stella scura.
And I set it on the colour
E
where
metto sul
if you've got some pain in your body,
dove se
anything.
qualche dolore nel corpo.
Now this isn't just about relationships. Most of the work that I do is with people who are dying.
La maggior parte del lavoro che faccio.
People only come to people like me when they've tried everything else. I work with cancer, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, all kinds of stuff, as well as relationships, of course. So, if the person feels the colour, let's say they see the colour as magenta, I set this on magenta, and then this point of the star, I shine this colour while they're in trance and say, now, what's the first time you felt those emotions, whatever they are, and then as they remember and they detail, they dialogue in detail that memory, I then say, now, I shine this colour. What were the emotions you felt at that time as a child, which are different from the emotions you feel now? Whenever there's a situation, you have immediate emotions, and then you have emotions which come a little bit later, and then far away in the distance you have then long-term emotions. But the only emotions that heal you are when you enter into the heat and the passion of what happened at the time. So that's, here's the memory, here's the emotions. Out of those emotions come beliefs. Beliefs about yourself. And what a belief is like a mental pattern that becomes set by that situation. So to give an example, if I hear my mother and father shouting, and I'm a little kid in bed, and it's a dark night, and I'm terrified, and I'm crying, and nobody pays any attention to me. It's not a very serious problem, and yet for me, it's a serious problem. And then, in that moment where I'm feeling fearful and helpless and vulnerable, what are my beliefs? My beliefs are something like, nobody cares about me. I'm not wanted. I feel unloved. In that moment, that's how I'm feeling. That's a belief about myself. What's my belief about grown-ups and adults? Well, they're too busy with their own stuff. They never have any time for me. I'm just a nuisance in their life. They don't want me here. Belief number 2. There's nobody there for me. What's going to happen if there's nobody there for me? I'm 2 years old, crying in the dark. I'm going to die. And the third belief is, what do I feel about life in that situation? I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live. So I have 3 beliefs. One is that I'm unloved and unwanted, and I'm too little to take care of myself. I'm going to die. The second belief is those people who are meant to look after me are so busy with their own fighting, they wouldn't care if I lived or died. And the third one is, I want out. And that sets, those beliefs set behavior patterns. I shine this color. And those beliefs set behavior patterns that follow me all through my life. I become afraid when I hear people arguing with each other. I'm afraid of relationships because it might be like my mother and father. I feel insecure when I see people arguing. The belief about Nobody's there to take care of me. I feel unlovable. Nobody cares about me. My mother and father didn't care about me. Nobody can care about me. So in my relationships, as I grow up, I'm always timid. Hello? So in my relationships, in my seeking friendships, I'm always timid. I'm always afraid that I will be rejected as unwanted. Those beliefs form a seed which grows into a huge tree called my personality. And it affects everything. In my work, in my creativity. I don't have any confidence in myself because my mother and father didn't pay any attention. I wasn't valuable to them. And by going back into that starlight dialogue, you enter into the very essence of the personality. It's an unconscious place. It's dark. And I call it the dark star. And then, when we've elucidated, when we have brought that memory out of the body, I then shine the color which is exactly the complementary of this one here. This complementary color, in this case it would be green. And I then say, now, in the power of now, how would that be different? Meaning, is it true that you will die if your parents don't love you? Did you die? No, of course not. Right. So was that belief true? No, of course not. Right. And is it true that because your mother and father are so busy fighting, is it true that nobody cares about you and that you're going to die? No. Right. The second belief isn't true. And the third belief, which is, if it's going to be like this, I don't want to live, is that true? No. So those beliefs, which came out of those emotions, which came out of that memory, which are still active now as a behavior pattern, do you need it now? No. Right. You pluck that old behavior pattern with its root out of your psyche. And then comes the whole healing pattern. First is this, what I call healing, this is the memory. That's not the wholeness of it. Second comes the balancing. As you bring that old memory out of your psyche, all the behavior patterns that were around that have to readjust. There's a new energy balance that happens inside. As it happens inside, there's a new energy balance that happens outside too. It's an amazing thing how you suddenly find that you breathe differently. The colors are different. You see life differently. Not only that, the third part of this healing process is called integration. Because of the fear and the rage and those behavior patterns, parts of you get separated. You lose your confidence. You lose your self-love. But most important, you lose your contact with your original wholeness. As you begin to heal yourself by reclaiming those memories, bringing the power of now into those memories, all of those other healing modalities start happening. Spontaneously, there's a new energy balance. Spontaneously, there's a new integration. Spontaneously, you harmonize. You come back into life itself. When you're in that pain and that anguish, you feel separate from life. You feel in some way that you're an outsider. Everybody knows this. This is exactly how the personality works. It separates you from nature. It separates you from life. It separates you from people. That's what an ego is. It's a separation.
È quello che
But as you reveal these memories where that original separation happened, then you begin to re-enter into the fabric, the emotion, the energetic flow and the harmony of your life. Now,